The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tiger Technician Hour with your host, Basil Chapman. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Basil Chapman.
Hi everyone, Basil Chapman, Tiger Technicians Hour. My pleasure to be here Monday through Friday, except it won't be here this Thursday and Friday, but normally Monday to Friday at 11 o'clock till noon. And we've got the Dow down 49 at 18,502. The S&P's down 5.7 at 2172. You've got the, where did it disappear to? It's right over here. The Comp Index is down 17 at 5,209. The VIX index is up at the 13s now. It's at 13.27. First time it's been in the teens for a while, up 63. I'll talk about the Fed and what's going on. The E-minis are down 7 at 21.69. This is going to be very interesting. You see this E-mini chart here on the left? Daily chart. Weekly chart, leg D. This is the 120-minute chart, made a peak E at 2190.75, plunged to this morning's low, which was at 2168.50. Okay, now let's just go on, and I'll come back to the daily chart. Although I'll tell you right now, this is a peak C in the futures. But if you look, because you can't after a G, you can't go to you can only go to a D recycle. You can't go to an H. There's no H in the Chapman wave. But if you go to the SPY, you'll see the SPY as an alternative count G/C. So I'm going to discuss this all in terms of the Fed this afternoon. Let's continue. You got the QQQ series down 35 cents after a peak D at 116.70. You've got the IWM also at a peak. This is a a peak G/B. It's probably a G if there's going to be a dip below 121.30. It's at 121.71 right now. I wanted to also just show you that gold is at this point. It's down a little bit. It's down 5 at 13.51. It's just stuck in the range. Remember, we spoke yesterday about the Chapman wave inside track repellent zone in the daily chart, that every time the price has gone to these lower highs, it keeps getting repelled by this downtrend line, but it's also holding a beautiful uptrend line. So I'm the way the market looks at this point, and now I can talk about the Fed because we've done some of the key indices, is to say that if the Fed was going to do anything, they have to do it right now. They do not want to take a chance politically of doing something, because we all know, you remember when it came around to October for the last election, what I said was my contention had been from 2007 that it would be a President Obama and he would be a one-term president because of the economy. But a whole bunch of factors just pushed to allow the market to look like it had turned around and improved, so that by the time we got to the late summer, I then said it's going to be very difficult to overturn this particular presidency for a number of reasons. But if the Dow closes below 12,000, I think it's going to be really tough. Well, it closed just above 12,000, and then it ran quickly into the November election. So now we're looking at the same sort of thing. And I'm not putting any political implication here. This is what almost every time I've looked at this situation, that the incumbent party invariably, I'm not sure just what it is, has the opportunity to come up with some good figures, just enough to keep the market buoyant. And if they don't, it's a real problem. So I don't think the Fed can do any, unless they do it today. But I don't think they can really, they can't even warn, because then what you've got is the chance that September going into October is going to be lousy. So it's going to be real tough for them to do. They might hint that it's getting, things have improved enough that they can start to consider it, and that they might still do it this year, and then they might do it in late November. Who knows? Okay. Meantime, back at the range. So gold, I'll give you the numbers, because this afternoon we could see a breakout to the upside, and the breakout would be instead of being at 1351 right now, it could be at 1361, trying to tackle the high that was made at 1374 back on the 2nd of August. But it has to bounce and close decisively above this downtrend line. The uptrend line support close below 1340. So 11 points up and 11 points down, I think, is really going to make it quite clear by 3 o'clock this afternoon. Because if it's to the downside, gold is going to pull back. And then we immediately have to look at the dollar and say, wait a minute, the dollar was doing the same thing, except that it broke under 95, the left side lowercase. You remember I drew this in a while back, that lowercase h. So that h on the left side at 95, we have 2 days in which to close above it. If the dollar closes in the 95.60 area, especially if it's in the 96s, because it's just a spectacular move to the upside, as gold pulls back, that would be a positive. But if it doesn't close above 95 today, that's a negative, regardless of where gold goes. So those are the parameters. Now let's look at the TLT. The TLT is up 30 cents at 138.69. It has the same kind of, it's a contingency here, is that you've got trend lines coming down and you've got trend lines going up in the key indicators that we look at. Those metrics are going to be very important. So let me just give it to you. If bonds, the TLT 20-year T-bond fund closes in it's at 138.65. So $1.50 higher starts to put you into the 139.90, 140.30 area. A close in the 140s is really, I would say that's bullish for bonds, bearish for rates. And a close below 137, I could make it a little higher, but I'm going to make it 137, $1.50 up or $1.50 down. $1.50 down says rates are going higher. Let's look at the TNX, $TNX.X. I bet it's the same thing. Yep, there it is. So it's making a cup formation, and that cup formation can fail because you've got trend line resistance right there. There it is. Everything correlates. And the parameters now are clearer than they've been in a long time. So let's just call it the bonds, the 10-year T-note interest rate above 16.05. It's at 15.78. It's going to be bullish for rates. And if it pulls back to under 15, it's bearish for rates. And if ever there was an opportunity, as I say, that's what I did in my masterclass last night, in the webinar. In the webinar last night. We looked at levels, we looked at monthly charts, and the monthly charts are going to be really important at the end of August. And I'll go into that as well in a moment. But let me just say that the Fed has enough, they have enough single, separate little individual parts of the puzzle that they're looking at that have actually improved. And there are some that are not improving, some that are actually quite important. And the way I'm looking at it is that if they have an opportunity to do it, they're going to have to do it, maybe even today. And if they do it today, they raise even by a quarter point, it's not a big deal, but it could shake the market up right at a moment where we've got all these indicators, as I've shown before, right on the cusp of either a breakout to the upside, start a new recycle buy mode, or a breakdown. So I'll talk about that when we get back, because, as I say, we are cusping up, cusping down. I'll be back, Basil Chapman, Tiger Conditions out.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com. The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Basil takes your phone calls. Now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Folks, just being corrected by Z in the Den, and I guess they are not going to. They're not. It's not a meeting today for deciding rates. It's a meeting. It's just to tell you what is being discussed in the minutes. But I thought the minutes would be very important because I remember hearing Yellen say that at any point, if they feel the data is there, they're gonna pull the trigger. They're gonna raise the rate. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Meantime, back at the ranch, Dow's down 47, S&P's down 5. I was asked about wheat. Das wheat. It's the only thing I ever got out of my French lessons when I went to, what was it called in Cambridge? That adult education, that's right. So wheat is right now at 425 and a half. It's up 2. Had a really nice strong bounce because every day the market in wheat jumped. It held the 9-period moving average even on the 3 days in the last 6, where it's dipped underneath the 9-period moving average. It's closed nicely above. It's made a peak C and it needs a leg D. This is very nice for a quick A to B to C. I would prefer that C would have been much higher, and then that would have said to me, that's good action. This is a little too quick and a little too short. So you're going to see, let's see, who asked me? Sean. Sean, you're going to have to look at this and say, if you're a long wheat, I would put some kind of a stop on the, I don't know what it trades, I don't know what in quarters or tenths, or I don't know what it is. So I'm just going to say to you, this is a continuous contract. I like the way the weekly chart is forming right now, but I need to go until Friday at 4 o'clock to be able to tell exactly. If it can close above 433 by Friday, that's a really nice action. I'm saying nice, I'm not saying great. I must move this 120-minute chart away. See, my problem is that the monthly chart is just horrible. So we just has to establish months of upside action to really suggest that there's a concerted effort to go from a down mode in the monthly chart to even a buy signal, which is not even close. So until it gets to 468, 473, I can start to say, hey, that's a great improvement now. I've got buying modes in the daily, the weekly. Let's see what happens to the monthly. Okay, so I don't think that's what you're looking at right now. What you're looking at is where is it going? I'm just going to say, if it goes, not even closes, but if it goes under 414, give it 42 minutes to an hour. If it hasn't bounced back in that time, I would either get out the trade or I'd lighten up a lot. What you really want to see is not only does it make a peak D above 430, the round number high of the 15th, you want to see it close nicely above it and then give back nothing after that and have leg D extend for at least 2 sessions, maybe even 3. Because if it's just a pop-up and a break, that means that you've gone very quickly from a peak A in the Chapman wave to a B to a C and then a D. That says, be careful, you should have quite a sharp pullback. It doesn't say a major downturn. It just says, be careful. It's too quick. It needs a little more time. It's going to have to rebalance and re-establish the strength of the longs. And that means testing the weakness and the cushioning. And then if it rallies from that peak deep pullback, that would be very positive. It makes an E or a brand new A. So I hope they can give the numbers again. 432 is good. That's what you really want to see. But 434 to 436 in leg D is really what you want. You wanted to try to tackle the high of 435 and a quarter that was made on the 25th of July. That's the continuous September wheat contract. All right. I hope that helps you. And I'm just going to say it again, under 414, just you can give it a little bit of time. But if it's holding, I would get out. Okay, next question was Procter & Gamble, PG, made a peak D 3 days ago. Well, confirmed peak D yesterday, and today still below. But it's only a C. I've done a lot of work on these defensive stocks, and it's still in a leg C in the weekly and a leg C in the monthly. I suspect that these defensive stocks they still have a little bit enough cachet for Procter & Gamble to go a little higher if it's next week. That continues leg C. I'm going to say this now. Is the question a buy on a pullback? Yes. I would buy if it's a peak C pullback. I would not buy if it's a peak D pullback in the weekly chart. If it's in the daily chart, I would prefer that it pulls back now, has a consolidation at peak D, and then starts to go to a leg to continue C or make a D in the weekly chart. So make it simple. It's at 86.73. It's coming back nicely after maybe some bad news this morning. Maybe I think there was earnings sometime ago, whatever. So let's just do this. I'm going to say to you, I would have 2 positions. I'd buy it right here at 86.73, knowing that's not the position I want. It's just that if it gets away from me, I don't want to overdo it on the upside because it's more risk at this level going up to the next peak than it is if it was to pull back and give me a better opportunity, a point lower to get in. So a nibble here, but the position that you really want, not a big position, but a position that you want both for potential dividend. I don't know it's going to last long enough for the next dividend, but in the meantime, I'd say I'd buy it between 86.20. It's only 50 cents. Should I fuss? Yeah, a little nibble here, and 86.20 to 85.60 is really the area that you want to start a position, and that position can have a 1-point stop. I hope that's clear. Procter & Gamble trading at 86.72, up 14 cents. Okay. Next question I had was some very nice questions. Let me just get to them. GT wants to know about FXI. I've not done that for a couple of days. This is the China. China's, look at this. China's in leg D, hit the 200-period exponential moving average in the weekly chart. This is saying to me, and this is confirming for me, that we can rotate and have the Dow. For my subscribers, we are short the Dow, and we've got another short as well. We also have some longs that we're trying to keep because we got in so nicely. I'd like to keep them as longer term as possible. One we've had since December. I'd like to add to those positions, but in the meantime, back at the range, FXI, which is the iShares FTSE China 25 ETF, Nice leg B in the monthly, but we've got 2 weeks to go. So let's look at the weekly. The weekly chart is flattening out at 96%. Nice. I'm going to suggest to you that this D could have a pullback. I don't know, A, B, C. I'm going to call this for now an alternate count. Chapwave instant restart. I'd already put it in. That's an F/B. This is a G/C. This is a G/C. So this is a D, and this is going to be an E. I would suggest to you that it could be in for a little bit of a pullback, especially if we pull back. And maybe it could go to the 39s, but I think this 200-period moving average is going to keep it contained. And there's a good chance that from here, it could pull FXI, trading at 37.34, down 46. I think it could pull back to the low 36s. So just, TG, just remind me again, GT, just remind me again about this, because I wouldn't be buying right now. I want to see how it pulls back. I want to see if the Dow is going to pull back by the end of the day. Keep this negative activity, or will it have a turnaround? Instead of being minus 60, at the end of the day, it's plus 60. I've got a feeling this is kind of the range that we're looking at. Limited upside, lower lows on the downside, and the FXI should participate. Really good action. But at this point, it's just a little too high. And EM, I'll do EM when we get back. Another good question. Basil Chapman, Tiger conditions out, Dow's down 60, and we'll be right back after these important messages. Oh, I didn't show the E-mini right here. There it is. Leg C.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now, you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Chapman, target conditions are the Dow's down 17, down almost 9. It's going to be tough for the market to turn around. Let me just show you this chart before we go on to our first caller. Yeah, this is in leg C to the downside. It couldn't make the cup formation. Instead, it made the arch formation. Just weakness. Look at the sharp move sideways, arch formation. Sharp moves, quick sideways to an arch formation. Let's see what happens here. The third time, you should actually get a V-shaped turnaround. So if it doesn't do that, you're in real trouble. That's the E-mini 10-minute chart. Let's go to Scott in Safety Harbor. Hi, Scott. How are you?
Hey, good morning. Couldn't be better, Basil. I am very timid at these levels. I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yep.
My first, I guess it's like a physician, my first responsibility is to do no harm. So I don't like to, when anybody asks me anything in this last week, I just tell them no.
Tell me, Scott, can you answer this question? You don't have to if you don't want to. I just want to know, do you you don't often talk about shorting. You're usually either waiting or you're buying.
I never do. It's just, and I know this sounds silly, but I know that you do realize there's a spiritual element to a lot of things. And to hope something goes the other direction, to look forward to the destruction of something to make money. I know it sounds silly, but I have just a positive momentum in everything that I do, and not always, but in the last 10 years, and it just seems to work out better like that.
That's fine. There's no problem with that. Years ago when I started, I only bought and then I would wait. When I had a sell signal, I'd just patiently wait, and then I'd buy again. The same group. It'd always be a brokerage house, a bank, very high tech. One of the highest PE stocks I could find. It was just a mix of 4 or 5 stocks, and then I'd get. As soon as I found that I was churning, that I made money, and then all of a sudden I was starting to give away money, I said, "Whoops! I think we made a top," and I'd get out. I'd just wait. Had patience to do that. It's another way to do it. A lot of people actually use my system just to buy the. What they do is they buy what they call the buy signal to the buy mode in the Chapman wave and whatever sector that they focus on, and then they get out at a D, and they don't short, they just wait, and then they just trade those 4 peaks to the upside. So whatever techniques make you comfortable, I'm always the first one to say, keep doing it.
Pretty good. As you know, I'm very good at this, is at picking the winning horses, so you'd think that I would get into options. Never bought an option in my life.
That's fine. Yeah, I did really well, and then I split the money up, and I went into options with some part of it. And the learning experience when you're in a telephone booth making calls to say, get me a General Dynamics 80 call at whatever it is on the telephone, and then having to wait to get to another call box to find out if you got it. That wasn't, certainly for options, that was not the way to do it. I learned that the hard way. This is a very interesting thing.
Stocks for dummies, the way I do it, Basil, because
I know a lot
of people like you're talking about, and I'm telling you, I listen to some of these friends of mine talking on the phone and so forth. It's so complex, and then nothing ever really pans out. I'm like, wow, you just gave directions to Mars and back.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. So now you wanted to look at, someone sitting in the den and someone knocking on the phone while you're waiting for your broker to get online. Oh, man. I don't know. Actually, there's some good comic books that could be made out of that. It wasn't so funny at the time. This is something I always talk about this. I'm never embarrassed to talk about this. I say that I came up through the School of Hard Knocks. Then I went to the Graduate School of Hard Knocks, and then I went to the Postgraduate School of Hard Knocks. It's just one of those things. It's some people have to learn the hard way, and they do learn, but it takes a while.
$200,000, Basil, on an education, and it cost me a very beautiful wife I had, and almost $200,000 to get to the point where I'm at. So it's expensive, and that's the only way that I've found that you can really learn this business. I try to tell people, as I've told you, what they do, and they never listen until it actually starts costing them money. Then they got to do it about 20 times. And finally, usually you almost have to hit bottom before finally you change your ways. And that's
So
what happened
anyway,
to me now, making a
let's
fortune.
now let's get to the happy side of this. You're doing very well. And now you've
absolutely.
stepped aside and you're looking at potash, POT, which is down 34 cents at 16.11. And you remember the pattern that I was talking about with potash? I said, unless it can make a
Yeah, you
V-shaped
gave it a
pattern and power through.
1575 shot. It did go up after that to 1680, and I was in it at the 1635 and got out at 1675. But now I'm thinking it's going to retrace, as you said, back into the 1550, 1575 range.
That's my thinking, and I just like you. I'm having I'm just having patience. Our subscribers, we've got short positions, we've got long positions. If certain things happen by 2, I can't remember what time I said this afternoon, 2:15 or 2:30. I said if the market is between this and this, then we're going to do whatever it is. There's no real rush at this particular point to do anything, because if we are going to have
entirely,
I just wanted to say, if you're going to have a consolidation, you will have plenty of time in which to get positions either long, and if you want to short, you've still got. We're only turning down now, so there's still plenty of time. Yes, you wanted to say?
You know, I think that potash has done this about 7 times, gone back into the 15s and up into the high 16s and 17s. So if it does that again, I mean, everybody out there, I mean, you know, you might want to take advantage of that trail, because it seems to be doing that pattern over and over.
Right. So, okay, so that's what we've established. And what I wanted to just say to you is, within the context of a pullback, if this is a pullback, we'll know a little later. We'll know by Friday in the weekly chart, certainly. But what's very important is how the market responds. For instance, crude oil is down 14 cents now at 46.44. But it's a very nice, it's that V-shaped pattern that I was talking about the other day. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, is the market now going to separate itself from crude oil? Because normally by now, with crude oil up, and even if it's just down 14 cents, it's still up from the low of the day, you would find that the market would be changing. If I look at the SPY and the USO 5-minute chart, you'll see that the red is the, look how it pulled back. Earlier on, just before my show, it was way up. The USO was acting very well, and the SPY was acting very poorly. Now they're both turning down. So this is going to be a very interesting period, because so many of the stocks, I went through it this morning to show how many of the daily charts and the weekly charts are on Ds and Es, or alternate counts, and in the weekly chart. And that says to me, hey, the upside should be limited from here. Be careful, because the downside could be a bumpy road for a little while.
Well, how I trade my exact way I will trade this is at about 16.05 or right under 16.10, I will start with a position of about 4,000 or 5,000 shares, and that way, even if there is an upside, then I'll be able to catch that. But I start scaling in, and I'll scale in back as far in increments of 5 all the way back, and that's how I do it. Not really.
Oh, that sounds great. We're going to be watching this closely. See how you do. Thank you for calling, Scott. That's Scott in Florida, and we will be back straight off this. Dow's down 74.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. Until recently, it was almost impossible for the average investor to hedge against currency risk in Europe or Japan. For a bold trade on Europe or Japan that protects against moves in currency, trade HEGE or HEGJ, 2 times currency hedged leveraged ETFs from Direction Investments. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Folks, let me just answer this question that Dan, well, now I can do it live. The question was a good question. Basil, on the monthly for the stochastic and looking at the dollar chart, do you still follow the above 80% as being good? And I said, absolutely. And the dollar monthly is only at 40%. So that is one of the issues that I'm looking at. And it's one of the issues why the dollar hasn't accelerated above that high of last month of 97.57. So it means that at 94.83, it's really important because the double cup formation right here, 2U's stuck together, says that at any point in the next 3 weeks, if the dollar breaks under 91.92, that's very negative, and that'll damage the chart pattern very much. So it's got to hold here, it's got to hold the 94s, and it's got to try its best to bounce back to 94.80 to 96.30 in the next 2 weeks. That's the way I'm looking at it. And that can only happen if gold starts to break down, and gold is holding very well, down a little bit today, -6, but it is holding comparatively well. It should have broken to the upside for the H pattern that the dollar broke on at 95, and it didn't. So something tells you, I spoke about this last night. I said that gold and the dollar mostly trade in counterpoint. When one's going up, the other is going down. There are just periods of maybe 4 to 6 weeks every year where they kind of go in the same direction, not the same amplitude, the same percentage, just the same direction, kind of generally up or generally down, and it can bounce around like that for about, maybe 4 to 6 weeks. Another question I had was, where was it? Just disappeared. The currency charts, unlike the VIX, complete Chapman wave, right? Yes, currency charts go to Ds. VIX is something different. So I had a question about the VIX. Let me go to it. Actually, let me do it all in step. So Adam asked TGT. So we did this last night. We looked at the RTH, and I said that the RTH is stronger than the XRT. It was stronger. Now the XRT is just pulling back from potential G/C in the weekly. Not bad yet. And the monthly chart, the weekly chart is rallying, but okay, still under the previous high. But the RTH, which was doing better, has had 3 very negative sessions, and Walmart might be part of it, and that's a peak E, and that is the Chapman wave Stork-Lake formation. So we spoke about that. Oh, did I? I wanted to do it, and I forgot. I'll do it now. And last night I wanted to bring it up. It was so perfect, but I was looking at monthly charts, and I thought I'd get back to the RTH. Look, there's the leg, the body, the neck, and the Chapman wave Stork-Lake formation. Here's the neck. here's the head, and here's the beak. And the beak obligation is to go back and test 80.85. When it's completed that, if it doesn't take out, well, there are two things that happen. If it doesn't take out the low of 79.51, the body low after the peak D, that says it can have a very strong bounce, and then you're on your own. Then the whole pattern's complete. But if it closes underneath that low, it says be careful. You could have a bounce, but very quickly you could be going to lower lows. So this is leg E in the weekly. I think the RTH could be telling us more about anything else about the market. That's why I don't think the Fed can do anything. What are they going to do right now? There's a competition for low rates. So here we go. Walmart right now it's at the higher, almost the high of the day, but it's down 21 cents. Peak D, I can't count it any other way. I've got it at a peak C in the weekly chart, and that peak C in the weekly chart suggests that there really should be a leg D to come. That's Walmart. So I don't want to get in the way of anything here. I'm just saying it's at a peak D. You've got to wait for it to rebuild strength. But it does say there's a chance that you'd have a new high in the weekly chart, except for one thing, and I've got to always emphasize this. When you are below previous, especially like the Grand Canyon tumble from the 90s down to the 56 area, when you are on the way back up, it's a retracement rally failure mode. So you can fail at any point. You don't have to go to D. So in this case, I think there's enough strength to say, well, there's a chance you can go from 72 to 75, but you're going to have the market generally turn to the upside. So Walmart is not giving you any hint just right now. It's saying looking out, it should go higher, but not yet. What was the other question? I lost it. Target, TGT. Target, did I just do Target? Yeah, Target made a peak F top. The weekly chart is in a failure mode, and the monthly doesn't look very good at all. Oh, isn't that interesting? Target. And the XRT already. Okay, more downtrend to come. Yes, I think that we've got to be prepared that there's somewhat of a shakeout in some of these retail stocks for sure. Let's go to the next one. That's Sarah wants to know about the DAX. I'm not going to do the DAX. I'm going to do DEDOW. I believe that's the one that will give me the information. Yeah, this is the German stock market, the Dow German index. So it goes A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. Yes, it's made two peak Ds. One was an instant restart. It's pulling back. Yeah, I think that Germany looks somewhat weak right now. It's had a fantastic move. It could give it back. I've got this at 357. You'll have to use your own imagination here. The high that was made on the 15th and the 200-period moving average says that the midpoint has a little bit to go, and that's going to be the test. In this case, 357 to 355. So work it out on the real thing, the DAX. I don't get the DAX. Russia, RSX. I had done it. I don't think there's any notation here. Weekly is A, B, C, D, E, F. Got to be careful. And the daily, if I'm correct, is, yes, is A, B, C, D, E, F/B. At this point, I'm going to call it just an F/B because it looks like it's going to turn to an F. At 18.68, down 22 cents. I think it's made a peak F top, and if it breaks under 18.27 in the next 3 or 4 days, that's going to be negative action. It'll be very good if it can break above 18.99 to start a new leg C to the upside, G/C. So RSX, which is Russia, the Van Eck Vectors Russia ETF. Next question I had was, so that was, it hit a downtrend line, and the euro stock, I don't have the euro right now. I mean, I got the currency. Let's just look at the EUR USD. I had a really strong move up. Yeah, leg E pulling back. It might even be E/B. We'll see, because the weekly chart is improving a little bit, and then you've got the H pattern that goes to an M. You remember I drew this in the euro-dollar currency pair monthly chart. Yeah, it could have another little bit of a bounce. Okay, we've got Charlie in Framingham. Charlie, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Basil?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. You look marvelous.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. You'd like to look at what?
ATHN, Athena Healthcare.
Yes.
ATHN as in
So
Nancy.
you tell me why you chose to talk about this, because this was on my list today. But the way I looked at Athena, I said to myself, I missed the really big move, the opportunity about 2 weeks ago. And when it's so close to left side support and the 200 period moving average, I actually had it on my list. I took it off. I said, yeah, it could go down today. But are you? Do you have a position in it?
No, I'm interested in getting in a position, but I'm a little skittish. It's
Well, the long or short?
I don't know if it's going to go down to the low that's way over there in
97,
where is it?
right, 97, right. Folks, we'll talk about this, but let me just ask you before we go to the break. Charlie, were you looking to buy it?
Yes.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, I'll do the study and we'll be right back with Charlie looking at Athena Health Inc., electronic medical records, and we'll be back. Down 77.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Learn how to trade options with Swim Lessons. Brought to you by TD Ameritrade. Think or swim. Next on TFNN.
Hi, folks. So we're looking at ATHN, which is Athena Healthcare. It's down 2.76 at 120.25. And what I was looking at is in the monthly chart, even with that gap, a huge gap. I mean, it's one of the biggest gaps that just 136 is the low on the 21st. And 126, $10. That's a big move down. and it never even filled it. It did maybe a 50% retracement to the 130 level and then pulled back. But the way it could refuse to class the 9-period exponential moving average, that black line, as the MACD weakened, the stochastic weakened, and then you've got this arch formation. It's actually two arches. I'm going to just make it one. So I'm looking at the weekly chart, and then you've got the pattern that we are so familiar with. You remember the GLD made the same H to M pattern in the monthly chart way back after the sell signal at peak F. Right there, there's that pattern at the top. So ATHN, let me go back to this again, and you see it's got something similar. It's not exact, but it's a pattern that says I'm using the sideways consolidation to test lows, and I keep making lower lows after that. So this is what I'm going to recommend to you. It's at 120.25. The left side low, I think that you're looking at, the first one is at 114.59. The second one is way down at 97.30. So I'm just going to say, hold off. I was going to do this two things. I was going to do it as an option, a put option, and the other thing is I was going to do it as a short. And then I decided, you know what, we've got short positions, things are working out, we've got some really good long positions. I want to have patience to be able to see if I want to add to the longs or whether I want to get into brand new shorts. One was, I'm looking at the what do they call, the auto parts area starting to weaken. The XLV starting to weaken, that's the healthcare, and Athena Health is on its own as a electronic medical records, although there's a company called Epic, which is the bane of every physician's life, but they're doing an amazing job collecting data. So the Athena Health, I'm going to say to you, have patience, let's look at it together, even if it has a bounce before. I'm looking at it testing this, the first left side low of July of last year at 110.68. So if it gets to the 112 area, give me a call. Let's look at it again. I think you're in the right sector if it comes on fire again, because they are absolutely leaders in their own thing. And Bush, who's the president, he's pushing that. He just, I don't know, he's an amazing entrepreneur in terms of pushing his company. But sometimes reality is reality, and I think reality is that I think they're going to have some tough times, and I think $10 or even $15 down, then I want to look at it again when it retests that arch formation low. So give me a call, let's look at it again together, and I don't think you're going to have to be in a rush, because even if it has a bounce, it might be a good percentage, but it might have to do a lot of retesting. Look at the retesting it did before. So if it suddenly starts to break key support levels, there's nothing there. There's just this little thin wick for I don't know, what was that, May of last year, May of 2014. There's just a thin wick that goes from about the close, from about the 125 area to the low of 97. Very little support. So have patience. I think you got your eye on something that could be a prize, but let's not have it as a surprise because it goes down instead of up. So let it do a little testing.
Yeah, well, 110 is what I was thinking, and you've confirmed it, which is always a beautiful thing. Thank you. Appreciate it, Basil.
Thank you very much for calling, and let's hope that our good weather is going to continue for another 3 weeks or so.
Oh,
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Charlie. We'll be back. No, we're still on. We will be back in a few minutes, and we're going to go. Oh, that's the end of the show. Good grief. So I'll be away for 2 days. We'll do my newsletter. Let me just do this real quickly. If this afternoon the VIX is, instead of being at 13.69, up $1.05, it's even higher. This market won't bounce. It'll go down further. If, in fact, there's a reversal and the VIX goes under 13 and the Dow comes back nicely to close just down 20 or maybe up 20, that says we can bounce around at these higher levels just a little longer. My feeling is that we're starting to go to lower lows and very limited upside. Have a great couple of days, and I'll be back very soon.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
This is TFNN.